Hey, and welcome to another Reactors Summit. I'm not Kristen Smith. She is hiding away from somewhere. Maybe she's afraid the loony bin's out for her or something. I don't know. But she left us in charge. Will it be a big mistake of hers or not? I don't know. But I've got Doug here with me. Doug, how's it going?
It's about a 50-50. If we mess it up, sorry. But no, I'm excited to talk these matches with you, Malcolm. I think it's going to be a really good show. It's definitely the matches were definitely interesting, and I'm excited to see what your thoughts are, as well as talk about mine.
Yeah, I mean these matches were really big, and a lot of controversy came out of one of them. Is particularly this. It happens to be the first one we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Family versus Paddington 2. This match was a really interesting match. It was a really high fought match, and both teams played really well. In round two, Paddington 2 spun Kurt Russell and did really well in it. They probably would have made Matt Kearns really proud. And Family spun comedies. They maneuvered their way through there. They didn't. But we'll leave the challenge for now. But Doug, what was your impressions of the Family versus Paddington 2?
I think it was a well played match. I mean, these round two matches have been phenomenal. We'll get into the other three or the other two, three, the other two in a little bit. But this match was very phenomenal. It was a well played match. It wasn't like up until that challenge. Like I thought it was. I thought it was a well deserved win. But yeah, no, I think round two really showed what each team was going to do, and I think round three just showed how far they were willing to go.
Yeah, this was definitely one which, up until the end, I was thinking, oh shit, is Paddington 2's going to move on? They don't. But then it like it stops as soon as we hear Matt say, like, hang on, I want to challenge that last question. Yeah. And I don't think it's ever happened before of someone challenging the opponent's question.
Yeah, no, not for a win. Not for a win. It's happened before, but not for a win.
Yeah. Because the question was, which member of the Dirty Dozen was the sole survivor, in which I can't remember who it was now, but they got it wrong, and but then Matt says, this actor was also alive, but which led into a lot of other controversies about the person that was sole survivor was not really part of the Dirty Dozen. Yeah. The 5-point question, the replacement question they got was much easier. And it was shown on the poster.
It was a really, really easy question. I think it was at max maybe a 3-point question, but and that's being generous. But first of all, if they had a manager, that wouldn't have went down at all. I understand not wanting to win like that, but you won how you were supposed to win. The question was laid out on the line. Who they named was the person that brought them all together. The family named the person that brought them all together. And no, when you're bringing a team together, when it's like that, it unfortunately means he's not a part of the team because he just brings them together and sends them on their way. And it's just. It's a tough call. I understand the call that they made. However, I don't think I would have ruled at giving another question. I think at that point in time, it's not the actual member of the Dirty Dozen who they mentioned. I'm blanking on the name right now, but I just it's a tough thing. Not that I hate the family at all. I mean, they're solid players. It's just. There's always going to be this tarnish on their record now. It's always going to be that, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those ones because I agree with you. I don't think they should have got another question because of it. I think it should have still been a win for Paddington to be, and that should have been how it ended. But it is what it is. We don't have a time machine to go back in time. We'll get to their match in a bit. But
I see what you did.
But yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is to see where Paddington to end up after this, because their loss, depending on how the other teams sort of do when they after these matches where the teams are actually sitting when it comes to draft time,
Yeah.
Paddington 2 could end up being split up, and
Which stinks. It
it
really does
does.
stink, because like they had the chance to be together and be managed as a forced team. I know people started hashtagging hashtagging keep Paddington 2 together. And it's just like, I understand what you're going for, but then literally every one of the 10 managers has to get together and agree to that. And that means, not drafting them until the end, or drafting them in the beginning and you losing out on your top picks. Like, not to say Matt Atchity and Alonzo aren't top picks, but there's people that know the game.
Yeah. But the question, yeah, and it's definitely going to be a conversation we're going to have. I might even make it a subject to talk about after we've talked about all the matches. But it's definitely going to be something that we're going to bring up a few times. Is some of these teams about what they could have done if they had a manager and all that. But we did have some cutscenes on this match. We had Kaiser and Kevin's Disneyland trip to still find Kalinowski, and we had two of them on this one. The first one, they were at some lookout tower. Brandon Hatter just conveniently happened to be up top there, and it sort of came a slight thing of Brandon trying to convince Kaiser to draft him next year and all that. And then we had a fun scene. It really didn't go anywhere. It was the horse racing scene where they were betting on there, and Kaiser just casually, randomly asked the person beside him if she's seen Kalinowski, which I'm pretty sure that person had no idea who Kalinowski or Kaiser was. So.
Yeah, no, I love those scenes. This is why during my shout out to Call to Action, my Schmoedown, I picked the dungeon as a reality TV, because let's be honest, people really enjoy seeing these scenes. They love them. That's why they keep playing them. And they keep playing them because they work. And it's something that you enjoy watching. No, I really enjoyed these scenes. They had a lot of humor to them, like they always do. And I just, it doesn't fully impact everything. I know Brandon Hanna just trying to, hey, draft me, kind of lines. It's like I said, I love these kind of things. I do like the more story based, but these ones are the ones that I like more than like the really like not feeling like you're a part of the inside joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed them.
But yeah, it's time to move on to the next match. But first, what I've got to ask is, Doug, do you want to see a dead body?
When it comes to Tom, yes, because he definitely left dead bodies on the ground in this match. This match was incredible to watch. I was completely blown away by what he did. Granted, I understand it's a team aspect, but you knew he knew all the answers, every single one. This guy is he's resurrected from the dead, cyborg, something. But no, Looney Bin is an incredible team.
Yeah, I mean, this whole match was, and because I had Time Machine going into this match, I had no idea sort of what was going to happen because, I love the Looney Bin. Tom is great. Video Drew has always been one of those ones in which is a solid player, but there's a lot of stuff that she's gotten wrong that I'm sometimes surprised about, but it's but I mean, I'm not saying that everything was in people's real houses all the time, but it's like it's one of those ones. I mean, one of my favorite lines was Video Drew asking Christian if he can spell cat.
Can you spell cat?
It's
That's gotta be the best way that somebody said, "Are you serious about that question?" With the point value, it was great. Comedic value of this episode was on par with her pulling out all the treats for Janine as like WD-40 cables, all this other stuff. It was great. Like, could you imagine if like Looney Bin ends up on a same faction as Janine the Machine? How much fun they could have with that whole situation.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. But this match was incredible because in round two, Looney Bin got monster movies and they won the board with that category.
Yeah.
And Time Machine got Tom Cruise, and some of those Tom Cruise movies were slightly deeper cut, but and it just shows that there's. I mean, everyone's going, "Oh yeah, I know Tom Cruise," just really casually. It's like, and it's just fun.
No, 100%. I agree with you. I think this match was entirely fun. I think it was the upset that kind of stole the tournament. Granted, Stacy breaking the brackets, that wasn't really an upset. I don't think there was really an upset until this match because people had the time machine. I think almost like 85% of the Facebook group had like time machine.
Yeah.
I, however, was like, nah, I like Looney Bin. I'm gonna go with them. I root with my feelings most of the time. No, I think they just did a phenomenal job. They came to Rec Shop.
Now the big question is, do you think Looney Bin got into Time Machine's head with the whole shtick, and that's kind of what threw them off?
100%. People are talking about Andrew Guy getting in people's head. The creep factor gets in people's head just the same. It's a very effective method, and she used it. Tom is literally one of my favorite characters ever. Performance wise, everybody knows I'm Team Kid right now, but uh, but character wise, Tom came in and just like blew everybody away. I can't wait to see him in singles next year. He could have a belt by midseason.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can't wait to see sort of what he does in singles and sort of which manager takes the chance on him and picks him up.
I actually
Because
think he could go first round. I think he could go first round.
but yeah, but we had another two cutscenes on this. The first one was pretty much with the traditional leading into match scene that we've had a few times this tournament, but it was Looney Bin doing just talking outside the building, and then we had Kaiser trying to convince Kevin to steal figs and sell it on eBay just to get paid money for the dungeon. Doug, what do you think of these cutscenes?
Again, give hashtag dungeon reality show. I've started a hashtag dungeon reality show because again, the Looney Bin was funny. It's funny because you see their banter, and Tom really plays a reanimated body pretty well, a Frankenstein creature, if you will. But again, I think hashtag dungeon reality show. I really think overall those promos that they're doing are really good. I think it hooks people into the show, and you get the comedy of it, and you start to root for the dungeon more so. So I think this may be the full reason why Kaiser's going to win over a lot more people for Manager of the Year, because he does a lot of stuff with his contestants. While I understand, you know, Dagnino for the for Five Horsemen, I understand Roxy for what she did with the Odd Couple, but let's be honest. And even Grace and Ken, I can kind of see it, but you're just giving it because their team won. I don't see them being managers like that. But who I see is Manager of the Year because of how involved he is in the Schmoedown. Like it's to a different level, because these were videos that were taken off of the Facebook group and put on the thing. So he didn't even do it originally for the Schmoedown. He was doing it to add some comic value, to add more, hey, we're the dungeon, we're here. And I just really honestly think their promos are on par. It's going to be hard to top those promos.
And I mean the fact they've got that he got like people like Brandon Hanna involved, Janine involved, Frankie Numbers involved. And we didn't do a show. We didn't do a summit last week, but I really love that whole Janine one, and then just randomly
really
just randomly patting DeFranco, who apparently just sits outside Universal Studios. I know I said Disneyland earlier, but I know I messed up there.
My favorite's the one in the next batch, but no, I just, like I said, I'm really for it. If they get a show, if they just, even if it's like a 10-minute show once a week, just do it. It'll go in the SCN. It'll be perfect. You'll draw people in. I'm telling you, Christian, take the ideas out of my head, man. I got them for you.
I mean, we've tried giving Christian ideas before, so but that brings us to the next match. With our favorite cinnamon rolls, Shazam up against the Odd Couple. This match was nuts. I mean, Shazam breaking the points record for teams. I'm not going to lie, I did not see that happening. I thought there was a chance that it wasn't going to happen, but this was great. It was like the second round with Odd Couple getting Scarlett Johansson and not doing as well as they probably could have, but they did have that the sneaky question about Oscars for ScarJo thrown in there, which was a fun one. But like Jeff was like, "Oh, you've got none." I've been got to take a risk and try it, but
yeah,
and Shazam got opponents, and they gave them dance movies, which was a bit of a mistake. But then again, they didn't do as well as I thought they would have done with it.
There was a comment that I didn't appreciate when the whole in the post game, we'll talk about it in a second, but they pulled a double Dewberry. And it was insane. 2 perfect round ones for the same team. Like, if you've doubted Shazam at all, this is the match to watch, because this literally shoves them in your face and says, this is what we're here to do. And I've been saying it since their formation, because I really think they are probably one of the best teams in the league right now. People are talking about who's the boss. People are talking about, corruption. People are talking about founding fathers. I love those teams. But I think the best chemistry that we see on the screen right now is Bibbs and the Kid. And I think they got the chance. They already broke the records. I think they got the chance to take it and take the belts.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think at this point, they're pretty much solid for staying together. And there's no way they're not in the top 5 after the tournament.
They're 4-0.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to be split up. But one thing we didn't mention is Shazam's entrance Bibbs is going all out with these entrances, and
I love it. I love it.
And also, I mean, let's get Bibbs printed on the disc for an actual match next year.
Right? Can we please? Because that was intense. I thought that was hilarious. It's one of their best entrances. It's probably one of Bibb's best entrances. I know I really love the Love Actually one. I think this one tops it. It was a flip on the switch. We're here to judge commentation. I think it was really great. I think it was hilarious. There's very few things that make you really giddy, and it's seeing these entrances because they're so easy to root for, which brings me to my next point about the whole comment made in the post-game interviews by Roxy about the kid being a douchebag. I don't appreciate it. I understand it might be part of your character, but like, the kid apologized 50 times for challenging it because he misheard it. I'm like, that's not a bad thing to challenge. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones, like, the movie's called The Girl with a Pearl Earring. And I mean, even in the that Clark said, because I heard the Pearl Earring as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
And I mean, let's put it this way: how many times has Jeff challenged gone all out on challenges? So I mean,
listen, Jeff challenges things just to challenge things, if we're being honest. But no, I just didn't appreciate it. That's really poor sportsmanship. You gave an attitude when you came out and pulled, dance movies on the wheel. Like, if you've seen any of the matches, which is another thing, like, are you watching the matches to judge your stuff? Because you know that the kid is even as a character, the kid is, a super nice guy.
yeah.
And I don't think he has much of a character. I think that's really him. But like, it's really disheartening when you see a manager talk about a player like that.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand maybe bragging on them a little bit. Oh, he's too much of a nice guy, or oh, you missed that one, kid. Way to go. Or stuff like that, stuff that's really on par with kayfabe. But like, to call someone a douche, it's not really cool. Like,
yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. And the one thing I enjoyed about the commentary entrance, just going back that for a little bit, is Mark and Ken sold it in their tail of the tape, just looking around all confused about what the hell is that? And I mean, it's really sad. It's probably the only time we're going to see a tail of the tape featuring Mark and Ken this year, because they actually haven't been in a match this
Mark's
year.
not going to be back this year, and we don't know if Ken's going to be back next year. So,
I mean, if they can find a way just to get more talent tapes with them, because I mean, just as a random gag like this, I mean, they don't. But
they're randomly talking, they just pull up their tail of the tapes, like right before the episode of Schmoes or Schmoedown. They're just like, Mark is like, "Hey, welcome to the Schmoedown," and you see Marks go up, and then that'd be hilarious. I would like that. I just think it'd be a lot of fun.
But once again, moving on, we had more cutscenes. We had Kevin trying to get Kaiser going a ride, because apparently Kaiser's just been avoiding rides somehow. But then
I'm not scared.
But then it turns out that Brienne was filming the whole time to get someone we don't see to just hold the camera, and comes out and whispers something we don't know to Kaiser. It's like, sometimes managers need coaches too.
So how funny would it be? All right, I know that I've been saying it's not the Schmoedown thing, but how funny would it be if the second camera person is the 10th manager? How funny would that be?
Hey, I mean, that would be really funny. That could be a part of the thing of where this is all leading. So, and then the second cutscene we had is is Kaido and Kevin just leaving Universe, which seems to be the very end of the Kaiser going, oh, look on the bright side, we'll just come back, spend $200 more and do it all again. And as they're leaving, who do we see selling donuts? Is KO, which I find
he's literally hiding under the thing and then he pops out. It's great. It is great.
I mean, I don't care. We just need more random cameos, some KO and cutscenes, just some hanging out in the background. It can become a whole Where's Waldo kind of show.
Yeah, no, it'd be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun to see that, especially if like you see like next year their biggest competition is like somebody else. Like let's say it's I don't even know who's going to be together next year. Because it could be, let's say they decide to start a rivalry with Shazam. You're finding, you just have them roll up to random movie studios. Have you seen this kid?
Yeah.
It'd be great. It'd be great.
But yeah, this is going to be a and to think that the tournament's not finished yet, by far, because it brings us on to this week. Well, actually, before I go into next week's or this week's matches, I'll bring up the point that I was going to talk about earlier. Which of the teams from this week or any other team do you think would be a million times better if they had a manager to sort of help them along the way?
Paddington 2. I think if Paddington 2 had a manager, we wouldn't have had the issue that we had. I think that would have been a completely different situation. I don't think of any other teams that kind of would have benefited. My issues with certain teams are that they need different members. So that's the only thing that I would say. But yeah, Paddington 2, if Paddington 2 had a manager, there's no way that challenge would have flowed out.
Yeah. I'm going on another one. Like, even though this is a great team, I would love to see what Shazam could do with a manager, because once again, if they had a manager, the manager could have helped them along with their challenge and sort of when they brought it up and maybe backed them up because they were arguing about it. But like, it's definitely one of those ones. Like, there's so many teams.
I think it'll be interesting. To answer Brian's comment about, I think Corruption will stay together, because I remember Harloff said on Chill to Action they might be competing in the undercard. That is not confirmed yet. He said he wants Mike there, so it might be, if he loses the belt, it might be a number one contender match there, or he'll be there as the thing. But I don't know, depending on how they rank at the end of this, if they're 1 to 5, somebody literally could take Mike and say, no, I don't want Chance. Or could take Chance and say, no, I want my draft pick. I'm keeping Chance. And just Chance. That's how that works. I know in his head, that's where he wants it to be, but we don't know what's going to happen with this draft.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those ones, like, even though Harloff said on Chill to Action about Corruption being the undercut and that, plans change. I mean, look at what happened after with Andrew going down Mill. That forced Christian to change his plans for that rest of the season, because he had it all written up in his head about what was going to happen, and it changed everything. And the thing is, Corruption's done for the year. They don't have any more matches as a team. So the teams that are still going, they could get enough wins to just knock them off. Well, yes, they used to be the former champions before Founding Fathers defeated them. but it's one of those ones like they may still sit up there, or the other teams may pass them on the way, and they will be pushed down. So, what makes these last few matches really important for Sam Looneyban, the family, and Who's the Boss, because they want to win just to fight to stay together.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't know how he decides on how Harloff decides on the ranking on what criteria. Because
All
I
right.
know wins and losses definitely come into it, but he may put accuracy and stuff as well.
So here's the rankings right now for the top 5 that are in it on the site, which might change after the rest of this tournament. Founding Fathers is 4-2. They're the champions. If they keep the champions, obviously they're safe. Corruption is number 1 right now with 5-2. But that may change at the end of the tournament depending on how that works out. The Odd Couple is 6-2. I think that changed. That changed with the Shazam match, which they're 6-3 now. Who's the Boss is 6-2, I believe. I don't know when these were last updated, actually. But then they got the Family at 4-0, and the Time Machine at 2-0.
Yeah,
So
I don't know when there was update, but if Shazam is
yeah,
four
okay.
no, they should be up there. So
Shazam is 3-0 with 1 KO after the match. That Not the match that aired tonight, the match that aired previously against the Odd Couple. So they're bumped up past Crimson Fury and Time Machine right now. They're at 5.
yeah,
If they win their next match, they'll be at 4-0, which puts them above the Family. Depending on where the Family is, this whole thing's going to switch around. It's going to be a weird thing. But remember, 1 through 5, they're not safe. They're just, if their team member gets picked, the other person can go with their team and they'll take one of their draft picks away. So it's going to be a really tough thing. I actually think there's going to be a lot of teams that split up, even in the top 5, because I think people are like, no, you're too strong together, but I think I got a better partner for you to make you even stronger on my team.
yeah. I mean, I think that's going to come down to it too, because there may be. I mean, not only that, but there may be storyline reasons. Some teams may split up if they lose. Like, it's one of those ones I could potentially see maybe if the Family splitting up.
So there's 3 teams that I foresee splitting up. I foresee the Odd Couple splitting up because somebody wants Andraco and doesn't want Snyder. I see Corruption splitting up because somebody wants Mike and doesn't want Chance, or somebody wants Chance and doesn't want Mike. And I can see the Family splitting up because somebody wants McQueenie and has a better teammate for him. I just think it's going to be literally, it's going to be really weird watching this draft happen. It's just going to be exhausting at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's also going to depend on what the rules are too, because the rules could be that you have to take, even though you may want one or the other, you have to take them, and you can't force them to split up until they want to split up or something.
Christian already explained it. Christian explained it on SEN. He said that they can take it. What it means is that they're protected. If the person wants to take them, they can take both and suspend a draft pick, or they can keep their draft pick and separate the team. That's what he said. I mean, it might change from here to January 11th, guys. We're not the end all be all. Take everything we say with a grain of salt. We're only going by what they tell us, on SEN and everything.
Yeah, because that's one of those ones which it's always going to be confusing for everyone until it's clear. But I think it'll get more clearer at the spectacular. Because because Christian's already said we're going to know the 10th manager then.
Mhm.
And I think that to lead it up, he may may re-explain what the draft, was going to happen at the draft, because from what I've understood from what Christian has been saying, and I really haven't watched that SEN, so I don't know what he said there, but from what I've heard is the 1 to 5 is protected, and you have to take both. And then at 6 and 10, in which you can choose to take one, but you can lose the other if you don't want them. So that's kind of the way I understood it. But once again, we don't know what's going to happen until the draft, so it's all just purely speculation at this point.
Yeah, so all the champions basically get to stay on their already teams if they want.
Also, I'd love that pairing.
I love that idea. I just don't know if it'll happen. I don't know if Dorina knows the game enough. And I think Christian wants managers that know the game enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones. It's going to depend on if Dorina wants to as well. I mean, I think if she really wants to be a manager, I think she'll sit down with Christian and he'll explain the rules and all that. It's like, this is the rules. Do you understand it? Do you want to be a manager and all that? But anyway, that's our speculation time, which started as one thing and then just evolved into something else.
Went into draft talk.
But we do have some matches next week. This week, I don't know why I said next week, because technically next week's is over. But
season's over, guys. Next week.
But we've got the 2 semi-final matches. We've got Shazam versus Looney Bin, which has dropped today, but
I cannot talk about that match.
Have you seen it, or just...
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah. No, fair enough. But I haven't. But and no spoilers in the chat if you're watching too. But we also have the family versus Who's the Boss. The third matchup between Guy and Ben.
And then we have the finals.
And then we have the finals, and then we also have Spectacular for those that are going to watch it live.
I can only talk about one of these matches. Malcolm, you can talk about all 3 of them.
Well, what I was about to say is, before you watched it, what was your pick?
You know who my pick was. I mean, you can say my pick.
Well, we all know Doug was rooting for Shazam.
Yeah, regardless of that, Malcolm knows my pick on that one. So if we're going off of what Malcolm just said, I'll go with the next match after he says who he thinks.
But I mean, but Shazam is my pick too. I mean, breaking the points record is one thing, and the thing is, Shazam and Looney Bin are so far the 2 highest scores for the tournament, because Shazam got 36, Looney Bin ended up on 34. So this is definitely a battle. But I think Shazam's hungry. It's going to be interesting to see what entrance Bibbs has. I'm pretty sure at this stage he's still not running out of ideas. He's probably still got millions of.
The man has millions of ideas because there's millions of movies. So no, but yeah.
But the next match we have is the family versus Who's the Boss. This is going to be an interesting one. And I've got Who's the Boss on this. Ben is hungry and he wants a belt. Mark has said that he wants Ben to have a belt.
He wants the team belt. Let's be honest. He's a little hurt that he still doesn't have a team belt. He's had the single belt, but he's still hurting that he's never gotten the team's belt.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those ones. I find I still cannot believe that he's never had the team belt. And it's just been one of those ones that has eluded him. But Doug, who are you going for in this match?
I got Who's the Boss as well. I like the family. I like how they interact with each other. I just think I think that this could be the most entertaining match and the most tense-filled match that we have in this tournament, just because of the Civil War Part 2. I think this match will be ridiculously good, and I really do. I think Who's the Boss is going to slightly pull this out. It's not going to be major. It's going to be slightly, but I think it's going to be. I think they're going to pull this out, and I think it's going to be a great match.
Yeah, and it's one that I actually wouldn't be surprised if the family pulls it out too, because Drew has proven that he can do well, and I mean, Guy has some knowledge, but let's face it, McReady is carrying that team a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's not fair to say. I know I critiqued Guy a lot before, but Guy's held his own in this team. Like he has. There's been points where he's know the answer more than Drew has. So it's like I understand the hate that he gets as a support player, but I do understand that he is a player that works really hard.
Oh yeah, I know he works hard, but I actually don't hate Guy. I know there's people that just hate Guy for no reason, but Guy is one that I know he's been working hard for it, and I know it's something that he loves doing. And but yeah, then we get to the final. Doug, who do you think is going to
going off of what Malcolm said, and the Who's the Boss? I got Shazam winning. I think, like I have said, Shazam is one of the elite teams. If you are sleeping on Shazam, watch their matches. Their matches are ridiculously scored. They don't have a low scoring match. There's not one. They're always around the 30 mark. So watch their matches. They're consistent. And that's why I got Shazam going to the finals.
Yeah, I've got Shazam winning the whole thing as well. Like Shazam is just ridiculous, and the fun fact is, if they win and go to Spectacular and they beat the Founding Fathers,
they are champs. They are an unmanaged champs.
Well, I mean, that's not where I was going with, but
okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Malcolm. I get excited.
I was going to say they're going to join the club of champions that have been undefeated, because if they're as you said, they're 3-0. So if they win, they're going to be undefeated if they beat the Founding Fathers. So
will that be the first team to do it?
I'm pretty sure the Patriots went undefeated when they won the belt, and I'm pretty sure the Shirewolves did as well.
Oh, that's right, they did. They did.
Yeah. But yeah, which does bring us to Spectacular, and just because this will be the final summit for the Spectacular, might as well get Spectacular predictions out the way as well. But the first, I'm not sure if this is going to be the order that's going to happen, but it's the order that I've got because why not? The first match we've got is Bibiani versus Ben. I'm going Bibs on this. Bibs has been crazy this year, going all the way through full. All his matches, all the stuff he's done with Shazam and all that. Bibbs is going to be hard to beat. I know Ben has been studying his butt off for this, and I know Ben is hungry for a belt as well. This is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a really high-scoring match. But Doug, what do you think about Bibiani versus Ben?
All right, y'all know how I love Shazam, but I think Ben is slightly more hungry. I think Bibbs is going to be really focused. I think he's focused on playing Ben, but I think he's going to be more so focused if he makes it to the finals and takes it to the all right, so here's my idea. Okay, so if Shazam makes it to the finals, wins, and goes up to face, Founding Fathers in the team championship, I think his attention will be split a little bit. And I think it'll go more towards the Founding Fathers in the team match than it will going Ben. And that's where I think. But if Shazam loses and who's the boss, wins with my predictions, then I think Ben's going to be a little more distracted with both, and Ben will slip up.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, it's going to be a case that depending on what happens in the team tournaments, for either one of these, it could mean they've got a lot of matches to prepare for.
5 rounders. You have literally 3 5-rounders if your team makes it to the spectacular. That's insane.
Shit, that's true. Damn it.
3 5-rounders.
And I'll do this one out of order because it's going to impact the title match. But Oyama versus Ben or Bibbs. I'll go first. No, Doug, you go first. If Ben makes it in, do you think Oyama is going to win?
So if Ben makes it, what I think will happen is I think he will unthrone Oyama. I think it's. I don't think a lot of people are ready for what's about to happen. We've seen how he got shaken at a live event already, and that's no shade being thrown. We've seen how he's gotten shaken. He almost didn't beat Schneider, and I just think if he gets too shaken, you have Ben fans there. You're gonna be going against not just Ben, but Ben's fans. And while you have fans yourself, I think he has a little bit. I think he has a little bit on you. And it's the same thing if Bibb goes up there. I think Bibb's gonna rock his day. I think Ben or Bibbs goes up against Oyama. I think one of them are taking the belt.
Yeah. And I mean, we know that at least a good contingent of Call to Action are going to be there, which does include a couple of Ben Bateman fans in there with Kelsey there. But no, I think the same. I think if whoever it is, Bibbs or Ben, I think they're going to take the belt from Oyama. Because it's much sort of like Oyama and I think with what Bibbs has done this year, and it's going to come down to what categories they get, because Oyama could easily get a strength to change that.
Sure.
And but yeah, I think either way, Oyama's losing that belt. But the other thing is, like, yes, he was shaken at the first live event he's been in, and we've seen it happen to just about everyone. They've been shaken at live events. He could take that and use it to fuel.
That's true too. He could.
So, because now that he's used to a live event stage and all that, he could start getting used to it and thing. But it's going to be interesting. But the next match we have is Damon versus Laura Kelly for the Star Wars belt. For this is tough, but I'm actually going to go for the slight upset. I think Laura Kelly could easily defeat Alex Damon with her performance that she put in the last match. She only missed one question. She's only missed 2 questions total, from what I've heard. So I think there's a chance Laura Kelly is going to be the first female Star Wars champion. Doug, what do you say?
I don't know if it's a hot take or not. I like Alex Damon, but I hope he's not sleeping on her. Because she's ridiculously good. She has probably almost just about as much knowledge as he does. I I gotta go with Laura. I think she's gonna pull it out. I think she's gonna pull the upset out. Uh, we're doing a bunch of hot takes. People are rooting for Oyama, and we're all running like, oh no, Oyama's getting defeated either way. And now we're like, Alex Damon's getting defeated. It's like, but no, it's not really a hot take, guys. It's if you watch how good she is, you'll see that she is on the caliber. She may not have the confidence level as Damon to say that she's going to win, but I do think she has the ability to pull out that upset and win.
Yeah. But I hope Alex isn't sleeping on Laura too, otherwise Molly will be upset.
But
but now we move on to the team title match, which is Founding Fathers versus someone. But for argument's sake, we've both
said Shazam.
Yes, Founding Fathers versus Shazam. Who do you think will take the belt?
Founding Fathers hasn't faced the team like Shazam. They have not. I'm sorry. Corruption's good. They're not that good. Shazam has been too consistent. I think Shazam takes that belt easily if they win the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Shazam's taken the belt too. Well, yes, Founding Fathers were phenomenal at the last title match. They just went lights out pretty much. But with what Shazam did against
the Odd Couple,
breaking that title, breaking the record, they're going to take the belt. I mean, they're powerful. I mean, and frankly, for these matches, I really can't wait to see what entrance what they get, because we all know Bibbs has been cooking up a entrance to a live event and at least this time we know that the live event is actually happening. It's not going to be cancelled.
He's been cooking it up since Arizona, and I can't wait to see what it is, especially since it's going to be like a Shazam. Now it's kind of Shazam's year to lose because their entrances have been on point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping he's planned enough entrances, so he's got a different one for each of his matches. I mean, especially if he beats Ben, I can just imagine Bib sitting in the green was like, "Oh shit, I only planned one entrance. I need to come up with something that what can I grab this."
Listen, I got you, Bibbs. Do Malcolm's exact thing, but have a film crew film you doing it. I think that would be one of the most hilarious things. Like, oh shit, I forgot. I'm in this match too. Let's go.
But yeah, then we come on to KO versus Mets. This is going to be a big match, especially with smack talk and everything off the chain. Doug, who do you think's coming out on top, KO or Smets?
I've voted against Smets 0 out of any time that I've had him in the corner, and that's just because he is too much of a dominant player. I think he's not letting any mistakes get through this time. I think he's ready for all the things that could possibly happen. I think he's ready to take the belt from KO. And I think it's just going to be an insane match. I think it's going to be probably one of the highest scoring Inner Geekdom matches we'll see. I'm actually predicting to probably go 3 or 4 rounds into sudden death.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm actually going opposite. Well, yes, like I know Smith really wants to get that belt, and he's definitely not telling Peter about it. But I think KO, yes, he's had his own share of mistakes. Especially one that keeps coming up on call to action. But I think KO wants to keep that belt because he wants to be that first player that has actually successfully defended the IG belt. And that's one thing I found really interesting, is that no one's actually managed to hold on to that belt. There's been a lot of people getting it, but no one's successfully held on to it.
Yeah. The title defense is real in that league.
But yeah, and we've already talked about the singles title match already. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the Reactors Summit. I know we may have went quickly through this.
Well, we're
but
like 6 minutes short. Not too bad when there's two guests.
yeah, well, that's fair. But yeah, Doug, where can people find you online?
Yeah, check out this week. I know that the Spectaculars on Saturday. Check out this week. We have another episode of Transvail. If you do not know what Transvail is, it's a group of fan leaguers and reactors getting together, playing D&D, and you get to watch the adventure unfold. It's a lot of fun. Just search up the Adventures of Transvail, and you'll find the first episode through the 6th episode, and we're gonna have the 7th out this Friday at 8:30 EST.
And yeah, you can find me hosting Ranktum every Sunday night. This Sunday it's going to be Adam Sandler movies, which is definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. Will his Netflix movies get on? Well, we don't know, but you can also find me doing Bracketeer stuff. There's a poll up on the Take 3 page for the holiday movies one, and there'll be just available to vote on until next week when I announce the winners and whatnot. And the January's poll is going to be Schmoedown personalities. So if you want to help form the brackets for that, send me your top 30 list or your top 30 Schmoedown personalities, and let's form that bracket and see how interesting we can make it. And by personalities, I don't mean just competitors, but basically anyone that's ever been on the desk counts, backstage interviews, anyone who may not be competing, but are just entertained to watch whatever they do. So, but yeah, and you can also find me hosting Formula Random and a whole bunch of other stuff all over the place. So until next week, take care.